Hey, salon friends, Steph Fox with Talent Match. And this week, I want to talk to you about something I refer to as the underbelly of salon culture. You could also think of this as the shadows inside of the culture or the things that you just feel are not right inside of your brand among your team. Now, every single salon that I've ever worked with, and including my own salon, has shadows because cultures have both light and dark to them. So, what we have to think about, especially in our strategy for recruiting team and growing our business, is are the shadows potentially impactful to our ability to grow? Are they going to be disruptive to new team members we bring in? Are they going to cause existing team members to have retention issues and want to leave us? So, we don't want to ignore shadows, which is sometimes easy to do, but these are the things that we almost feel them like vibrationally. You walk into your salon and there's this thing that kind of bubbles under the surface, and sometimes it flares and sometimes it might seem like it's lying a little dormant, but it's there. I'm going to give you an example of one that comes up in a lot of client work with Talent Match, and that is salons that are busy, that have experienced stylists who have been in the brand for 5, 10, 15, even more. I worked with a salon today that has stylists that have been there 44 years. So when you have all of the senior staff and the salon is trying to grow and they're bringing in all this new staff, a shadow that often develops is that the existing staff is a little resistant. So you have leadership on one side focusing on recruiting, 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 and you've got all this fear bubbling up inside of your existing team about why are you bringing on so many new people? If it's not fear, it could be frustration. Why are all these new people coming in? This is going to limit our ability to take new clients. It could be overwhelm. Oh my gosh, there's too many people in the salon now. We don't want to have this many people here. It could be a whole number of things that are going on kind of under the surface that you may feel, but you may not know about. They may not putting words to, but you feel the resistance. And sometimes it shows up when we actually make the hires and our new hire retention isn't what we want it to be. Or the vibe of the new hire isn't the way we thought it was going to be. Maybe they're showing up a little differently than they did in their interview and onboarding process. Maybe they're not feeling welcomed by the existing team. This is one of the biggest shadows that we face as we try to grow, especially since today's talent wants something so radically different than what talent that's busy and has worked for you for a long time had to experience. I mean, we could just use schedule as an example. The desire for flexibility now compared to the people that have been in your business 5 years or more than likely you gave them their schedule and they didn't have any option. And it was like, this is your job, work it or don't. Well, we can't really employ that way today. So there is frustration around that. There is a sense of entitlement frustration that older hairdressers, in terms of their tenure in the industry, feel against the young, newly developed hairdressers coming out of school. So we have to pay attention to these cultural shadows, as we refer to them as Talent Match. And I want you to just lean in, maybe sit down with a couple of your leaders, maybe a couple of your senior staff if you're feeling brave, and ask some questions. And the intent is not for this to become something negative. The intent is to pull out where you might be able to lean in and set a new tone. Shift a dark spot into the light and make it something positive. So I want to encourage you to not ignore those kind of underbelly, darker shadows, but actually to lean into them with the desire to solve them so that it feels better for everybody. It will help your recruiting, it will help your growth, and it will certainly help your retention. Happy recruiting.